Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell if you love to watch more cheating stories. Back in contact with my ex. My ex-boyfriend and I were together for 4 years and lived together for 2 years before we broke up. The breakup was a combination of things, mostly spurred on by the fact that he had to suddenly move away to help his family because his stepfather was diagnosed with cancer. His mother and stepfather have custody of his young nephew and needed help with the treatments and child care. The underlying reason for our breakup was his infidelity. A year and a half before our breakup, I came down with some weird symptoms. To make a long story short, he came clean to me that he had cheated in a one-night stand. We both had contracted gonorrhea. It was painful, it was terrible, he was remorseful, and we had a lot of talks, ultimately leading to us wanting to work through it and stay together. A year after that, I was on his phone when I found texts from another guy that he had a one-night stand with the week before. I rifled through his phone and found no evidence of any other people he had been seeing. I confronted him. He couldn't explain to me why he did what he did. A week later was when he had to move, things fell apart and we broke up. Obviously this leaves me in a place where I should think that he's a total scumbag. I should hate his guts, but as many of you probably know from laters, it just felt more complicated. Recently, we got together after 4 months of no contact. I was buying a computer off him and it seemed fine to meet up. What I wasn't prepared for was the 4 hours we sat together and cried. Floodgates opened, we talked for a long time and he admitted to me that he was scared of someone loving forever him, so he had tried to sabotage us. He had never regretted anything more than the way he hurt me. It wasn't crocodile tears either, this man is not one to cry, and he ugly sobbed. It was the most open I've ever seen him, just telling me exactly how and why he fucked up. We've been talking since, just texting and calling every once in a while. My feelings for him are still so intense. I know he also still loves me. I don't know if I'm being an idiot or not. Has anyone ever reconciled after they've been cheated on and broke up? I wouldn't go back to him without couples counseling being a part of it. But is there a healthy way to come back from this, or is it usually a lost cause? Here are some of the best comments from our community. Cheating has a lot to do with pain. Have people recovered from it? Yep. Was it easy? Nope. Was it worth it? Yep. Do not reconcile with someone who gave you an STD. They don't care about you or themselves. Leave people like that behind. If you want to continue to put your health and your heart at risk, then continue to see him. But what he did was a really reckless move that should never be forgiven. Sounds like the worst idea in the world. After all, you already gave him a chance and he betrayed you again. Not to mention the sexually transmitted disease, all of which speaks of a totally and completely irresponsible and selfish person. That he cries, well, I'm sorry, but that doesn't mean anything. You may think he's sincere because he never cries, but I'm sure that before the deception you thought that he would never hurt you, and yet he did, twice. I believe that a relationship can be repaired, but what I don't believe is that all relationships should be repaired. Until now, your ex is not worth it, and I would not have him in my life even as a friend. Another cheating story. Am I overthinking? I am 22F, my BF 25 meters. We've always been honest with one another and have been together for almost 4 years. However, I've always said he was a little sketchy with his phone. He likes his privacy, as do I. However, I wouldn't have a problem with him being on my phone whether he broke it or needed to make a call, etc. I've never known his password. He knows mine because I couldn't care less. His password is a long phone number. He won't tell me it. He's shown me his camera roll a few times. I've never seen anything suspicious before, however it's been some time. And before moving forward, he is a fabulous person. He would do anything for us to keep us safe and to keep just me safe. He is affectionate and loving and accepts me for who I am. However, this past weekend I came out of the bathroom and saw him texting. I just casually asked who he was talking to. He said no one and was suddenly on the weather app. I said I saw him typing and he said I just saw him scrolling on the weather. He starting just scrolling oddly on it, back and forth, up and down, and then put his phone down, locked it, and didn't touch it for 20 minutes. We also went out this past weekend and he was very intoxicated and we called a lift. I was trying to hold his phone to track the lift. He was barely staying awake and I was honestly ready to go through his phone, which I've never done. I just had the urge to. He still kept getting his phone back from me. I didn't understand why he needed to hold it. He was falling asleep and we needed to know where the lift was. He could just have been trying to keep his things together, but I thought he's been acting strange. Maybe I'm overthinking. I just have always felt it was weird. He wouldn't allow me to have his password in case of emergencies or any other reason. If he has nothing to hide, he gladly leaves his phone out to charge where I can see and view his lock screen, and he has always been loyal. He's against cheating, but he started his new job in law enforcement and it does make me nervous. He started with a new recruit class and is due to graduate soon. Am I being crazy? Here are some of the best comments from our community. I find this suspicious. Being overly protective of his phone is usually a sign of deception. Not an overthinker. He has something to hide. You can hide things from your lock screen too. All my notifications don't show up, but that because I just don't need to see everything, but for the most part my lock screen is full. If you have a phone bill together, get on it and look at who he is texting. Is his sound off? On iPhone you can silent conversations and hide them. Always trust your instincts. If it feels shady, it probably is. You aren't overthinking, you need to trust your gut. It's as simple as that. Always trust your gut. The evidence might not be there yet, but keep your eyes open and verify everything. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell.